Hello everyone and welcome back to my bathroom. We were just here the other day, but today's Vlogmas video is going to be super chill. I really just wanted to sit down and have a chat. I used to do this on Instagram Live for the Gentler account where I would have I think maybe I did it once actually. I had a mask on and a mask in my hair and I just chatted about self-care. But I want to do it on Vlogmas, so I'm gonna be putting on a face mask and just really doing the basic self-care because I haven't done one recently, and have a cup of tea. And I wanted to talk about systems, and particularly the systems that have been working best for me. So the mask I'm using is Clear Proof from Mary Kay. I have this, I think my mom gave it to me a few months ago. I haven't really been up on my mask game, but if I do this regularly, I'm definitely going to pick up another mask next week. Kind of like the idea of this, but anyway, that's what I'm using. I'm using this little spatula tool from Mary Kay, and I'm just going to put the mask on. But to get into the conversation, the other day I mentioned how I needed to get better on my systems because I had systems in place that served me in the last stage I was in life, but right now I'm trying to step my game up, so I gotta step my system game up. So I wanted to talk about systems that are helping me right now, and then systems that I want to implement soon. Alright, so I have the mask on. I'm going to have it on for about 10 or 15 minutes and just chat and during that time and talk about, like I said, the systems that are working for me right now, and then systems that I want to implement in the near future. So in case you need a reminder, I did a couple of podcast episodes like this on Gentler, but a system is basically any routine or set of steps that you do regularly that lead to some type of improvement in a chosen area. So I don't know if that actually meant anything, that what I said, but as opposed to goals, they're kind of like the journey in between. And I like to think of them as your shift from your current self to your ideal self. They're the actions that you do that take you from today's version of you to the version of you that you will be in the future. So whether that's your desired version or not, a system is just the little things that you do that kind of make up the actions that you take. So a lot of things that we do are systems and we just don't realize it. A lot of times when you wake up in the morning, you're going to get up, shower, brush your teeth, get dressed. That's a system, that's a routine. So I really want to be very intentional about my systems and not just kind of be on autopilot with a lot of stuff. Hi Gingy, can y'all see her? No, I guess I can move the mirror now that I have the mask on. So I want to talk about 3 systems that are really working well for me right now, and they're kind of small to be honest, but they have the biggest impact on my actions and my day and my productivity and all of that. And if you listen to the podcast or you follow me on social media or know me well at all, you know productivity is not my end-all be-all, but since I am doing so much right now, it's helpful to know that the actions I take have the biggest impact, and I really value efficiency. So the first thing I want to talk about is my night routine. So my night routine is a system that probably involves a lot of mini systems, if you will. So every night I try to get a set of tasks done that is really going to set me up for success in the next day. If I don't get these things done, I feel behind the next day, and it doesn't allow me to really utilize the optimal morning hours for the really juicy task in the morning. So for me, I like to finish off every night by tidying up every room. I did a blog post on this, and I just basically set a timer for a defined time, maybe 18 minutes I think is my sweet spot that I normally do, and I just go from room to room. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so it's really not that difficult, and I'm just one person, so it's usually not terribly messy. But I just go through, I pick up things that don't belong where they are. I will wipe down surfaces in the kitchen and in the living room. I will sweep if necessary. I usually save the deep clean items like mopping and all that stuff for the weekend, cleaning out the fridge, but I'll put the dinner away. I'll load the dishwasher, all of that stuff, because if I don't do it, it's only going to set me up for failure the next day, and I don't like that. Other things in my night routine, let me think. Oh, I make my breakfast tray. I talk about my breakfast tray all the time. I think I left it in the last vlog, but I'll make my breakfast tray, and I am going to try to start journaling at night too, just to have kind of like a reflect and recap and then maybe do like a devotional at nighttime to like ponder on while I go to sleep. The next thing I do is the Pomodoro technique. So I think I pronounced that correctly, I hope. I just use an app called Focus Keeper, and this really helps with my productivity throughout the day. I do a lot of things that kind of feel mundane and boring, so if I can promise myself just 25 minutes of focus and then I get a 5-minute break, I do 3 rounds of that, and then the last break on the 4th round is 25 minutes, so that's like perfect. And I love that because I hate the idea of like, okay, so from 9 to 5 I'm going to be working. That sucks to me. But if I can tell myself, okay, from 9 o'clock to 9:25 we're going to work on this task, and then from 9:30 to 9:55 we're going to work on this one, it's a little bit more digestible for me. And I also find that I try to beat the clock on tasks, so things that I allotted 2 hours for will literally get done in 20 minutes because I'm like, okay, let me just get it done, and it's done well. Now obviously if it takes longer than that, then it takes longer than that, but I've been tracking my time log of different tasks just to see like where I really slip up and become unproductive, and I've been so shocked and surprised to see how quickly I can get things done when I really want them to be done. So that's definitely one. I'll put the app link in the description box, but I think there's so many different options and you can do different time cycles. I really like the 25 and 5 if you want to devote a little bit more time. I hear people take like 90-minute work chunks and then I forget how long they break for. That sounds scary to me, so I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. The 25 works fine for me, but it really helps me to stay focused on the boring tasks that I hate, like I mentioned. So the last system that is really working well for me right now, and I have a lot of systems that are working, like there's so many things that we do that are systems that we just don't realize, but these are the only 3 I'll talk about right here. But it's money dates, daily money dates, and they're not massive things, but every day I will get on my computer. I usually honestly do it twice a day because I'll do it in the morning to kind of check in, and then I'll do it in the night to recap. But I open up my budgeting spreadsheet and I will take a look at how much money should be in my account. I do a daily like money tracker, so I see how much is in my account and which bills are going to be going through that day, and I have it set up as like a calendar so I can verify that number with my bank account. And I started doing this because my bank account, I realized, wasn't tracking my transactions as accurately as I wanted, so I'm able to go on and just double check, and I usually can figure out where the discrepancy is, and it's usually just off by a single transaction or something. But yeah, so I do that every day. I go on there in the morning and I'll look and I'll say, okay, I should have this amount in my account. Is that true? Yes, no, why not? And then as the day goes on, if I think about it, and like if I spend money and I have time, I'll add it to the spreadsheet. But if I don't, then at the end of the day, I'll have a money date where I just go on and I'll add any transactions. I will check the amount. I'll make sure that amount matches in my bank app, and I'll just make sure that everything is looking good. It's most of the time pretty like anticlimactic because nothing really happens with my money, but it helps me to stay in control because I am aware of it. People always ask me like, how can you get started with financial self-care? And I always say the best thing you can do to start is just to take a good look at your financial situation and see how much money comes in and goes out, what you spend your money on, all of that, because you can't be in control of anything that you're afraid to engage with. Even if you're kind of nervous, or even if you feel like there are days where I'll get on the Target app and I'll buy a bunch of stuff I know I didn't need when I was really just looking for like Clorox wipes or something. But I can't sit around and be like, ooh, like I know I spent too much money, I don't even want to look. My face is getting tighter, so I can't do all my expressions, but I have to anyway because I have to be in control of my money, and I know I've set things up in a way that even if I do splurge a little bit at Target, I'm okay. I've set up those systems to be able to handle that, and I'm in control of it. Whatever situation is coming my way, I can handle it. So those are the systems that I'm doing right now and loving, and would suggest. If you want to know more about financial self-care, then definitely check out the description box. I'm going to have my ebook down there, the one about financial self-care. Now, systems I want to implement to help things be better. So the first thing that I want to implement is some type of fitness routine. I maybe will do some type of exercise like once every 2 weeks, to be honest. I have not really found the thing. Well, I knew the thing that I really wanted to do, but then COVID happened and I was kind of stuck. My plan after graduating was to save a little bit of money and to do a little bit of research so that in spring of 2020 I could start doing adult tumbling classes. I did gymnastics growing up, and that was like it was the best shape I was ever in, first of all, and it was the only thing that didn't feel like exercise and like work. Like, it felt like exercise, but it didn't feel negative, and I was always excited to go, and I was excited about the idea of it too, even now. So that was my plan. Now with COVID, can't do that, or at least I don't feel comfortable doing it. I'm pretty sure like the gyms aren't open in the way that they were before, and tumbling is such a contact thing, because someone's spotting you and throwing you up and all that stuff. So I wasn't able to do that, but that's not an excuse to not be active. So I am trying to figure out other things. So I've been trying out jogging and trying out 12-3-30. That's the Lauren Geraldo like treadmill routine, and I liked it. It definitely was kind of like, I could do this. It's hard for me to do any workouts without people around, because I need the competitive edge to keep up. If it's just me by myself, I don't care, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm definitely trying to do that for sure. The next thing is more of a gentler, like side hustle related task. I am really trying to learn to delegate some tasks, and I am in the process of hiring someone to help out in 2021, so I'm excited about that for sure. An assistant will be so necessary. So right now, to prepare for that, I am doing things like the time logging, like I said, systems like that to kind of help me find what my zone of genius is and what I can afford to delegate, because there is a financial element with that. If I could hire 20 assistants, then sure, I would do that, but I'd have to pay 20 assistants. So I'm going to start with one, try to figure out what really works well for me to do and what I'd be comfortable letting someone else handle. So that is a system I'm trying to get underway for sure. And then the last one also has to do with side hustling and working and all of that, but I am trying to get better at batching my schedule batching my content and time blocking in my schedule. So I do use the Pomodoro technique, and it's really helpful, but I kind of just go down the list of tasks. So I'll write down everything that needs to get done, and I'll just kind of do it as the timer goes. I really want to get better about knowing, like, okay, on Tuesdays I create content, on Wednesdays I do interviews, on Thursdays I write. Just having specific days. I've been seeing a lot of people do this, and I think I just am willing to try any type of system right now when it comes to stuff like that, because my time is becoming more and more scarce, and as you all saw from the last vlog, I need to figure out a way to manage it a little bit better. So I want to try that out. I also just want to get better at batching content. In the beginning, whenever I was doing the podcast, I was really kind of against batching the Monday episodes, because I wanted to be able to do the pluses and deltas in real time. I didn't want to be weeks ahead and then, be disconnected from what I was saying. And I thought about recording the pluses and deltas in real time, but recording the rest of the episodes earlier and batching those, and maybe I'll do that. But I definitely want to batch the gentler chat episodes, and I definitely batch those more often, but I need to create better systems for reaching out to potential guests that I really can stand behind. I want to be very, very intentional about the guests I have, and I never want to be in a position where, I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, dang, I really need a guest for the podcast. This person emailed me, I guess I can record with them. I want to be just incredibly excited and into it, because I think people can tell. I always can notice a difference between the episodes I do with people I reached out to versus the ones where people reached out to me, and that is not at all to say that there aren't useful people that reach out to me. It's just typically I am less aware of who they are, so I don't have as strong of a connection with them. There are definitely people who have reached out to me and I had no clue who they were, but after doing research I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, I can't wait. But most of the time whenever I reach out to people, it's because I am excited about what they do, and I think they have a lot of amazing stuff to say, and you can really tell that in the way that I carry out those episodes. So I want to have that vibe for all of them, and that comes with more careful planning and batching content and just preparing. So tomorrow my desk is coming. I have more like office furniture coming in next week, so I am super excited about all of that. I'm going to be really feeling like I'm in the gentler office. I want to get a neon sign. I've decided I want to get a neon sign that says be gentler, and I'll put it on the wall, and I'll just have that. I think that'll be cute, especially if there ever is a point where I have like an assistant like in the apartment with me throughout the day. But yeah, it's coming together. So now that I have said all this stuff, y'all can help hold me accountable, and I'm going to be making these changes for sure. Definitely the exercise piece. Actually, while I'm sitting here, I am going to book a slot in my gym. Let me do it right now while I'm on camera. Wow, amazing. Now if I actually go, that'll be a different story. Most of the time if I book the slot, then I'll actually go. Most of the time. Okay. Gym, fitness center, and tomorrow, bright and early 10 a.m. baby. I'll be there. That's actually not bright and early, and I think that's the reason why I have trouble doing it, is because it's usually like the workday has already started and then they close it before the workday ends, so I'm like, I don't really have time to go to the gym. But I am making time on a Saturday. I will be there, or be square. And if I, never mind, I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to do that. It was inappropriate. Okay. And usually, like, I've never been to the gym here. Now, of course, I've been 3 times since the pandemic started, but I've never had another person in there while I was in there, so that's useful. But I am clicking, y'all can't see, but get pass. Here is my little pass for the fitness center, and I will be there in the morning. Thank you all so much for watching. I have had this mask on for far too long, and I need to wash it off, but I can't wait to